it's Miss Tulip. Our activity for today is going to be a STEM challenge where we build a castle out of pool noodle rings. So the materials you'll find in your bag are 10 pool noodles. There'll be some different sizes and shapes in there, and you'll also have 20 toothpicks that you can use to help build it. In the bag there's also a couple of sheets. So there's a half sheet that has some prediction and brainstorming things, and then the full page will be some reflection back on the activity. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, and the pool noodles can be a little bit difficult to cut, so you might want to ask a parent for some help when it comes to that. So in your bag, there should be a half sheet of paper, and this is the one that we're gonna do before we do the activity. So on the left, it says predict how difficult this challenge might be. What are some difficulties you might run into while trying to complete this challenge? So some difficulties that I've thought of are that my castle might not float once I put it into the water, or it might topple over depending on how sturdy it is. So those are some things that I'm gonna keep in mind while I'm building my castle. On the other side, it says brainstorm. How are you going to tackle this challenge, and what are some ideas you have for its design? So going into it, I think I'm going to try and build a bit of a base on my castle, so that way when I build upwards, hopefully it will be sturdy, versus if I don't have a very strong base, some things on the top might tip over or might fall off if that doesn't really work. So a couple things to keep in mind with this challenge. One is that your castle needs to have a main base structure, and it also needs to have at least one tower in it. And it also has to be connected while it's floating in the water. So you can't have your main structure and your tower be separate. The whole thing needs to be connected while it's in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and we'll see how it goes. I have my main structure over here and then my tower off to the side. So we're gonna put it in the water and see how it does. I used a tote for my water, so if you have a tote, you can use that. Otherwise, you can use a bathtub or a sink, really just anything that's large enough to hold your castle. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in and see how it does. So it looks like my main structure is doing okay, but my tower tipped over. So it's floating, which is good. It didn't sink, but obviously my tower did not stand up straight. So after the challenge, there is a reflection sheet that you guys can check out. On the front, it has different trials. So I only did one trial. For notes, I put that the tower wasn't stable and that it stayed afloat, and then drew a little picture next to it. So if you guys have time, you can try out a few different trials and then fix anything that maybe wasn't successful the first time that you did it. So on the back side, there are some more questions to reflect on the activity. Did you complete the challenge, yes or no? Measurements of your structure, so you can see how tall you were able to build it or how wide. Whether or not you completed the challenge, what would you do differently next time? So obviously my tower didn't stand up straight. So next time I think I would have tried to add some supports off to the side to help it stay afloat, or tried to anchor it to the main structure and see if that would have worked to help the tower stand up straight. Were your predictions correct? How so? If not, what occurred instead? So I predicted that a potential difficulty might be my structure staying afloat, which it did, so that was good. And another thing was that the tower might have toppled over, which is what happened. So my prediction was correct in that sense. Did you enjoy this challenge? And if you could change it in any way, what would you change and why? So I had fun doing this challenge, trying to create a structure with the limited resources that we had. If I could change something, I would maybe try and do it with some more materials, because then you could build a taller, cooler structure. So that would be something to maybe try out next time. All right, so that's the end of our activity. I can't wait to see all of the cool structures that you guys come up with. Feel free to post a picture on social media and tag us in it so we can see what designs you came up with and how tall you were able to make your tower. I hope you guys had a lot of fun, and I'll see you next time.